out of this, y'all.
Iron Man 2 kind of pisses me off.
Me too. This is the hardest thing that I've ever done in my life.
Like, I am getting emotional.
Disney Channel, One Direction, Marvel, and Avatar. Disney Channel,
No,
Mr. Stark.
stop.
I don't
Don't-
feel
don't.
so
Please
good.
Please don't do this.
I don't
I've
feel so
already
good,
cried.
Mr. Stark.
Please don't do this.
Fangirl Central. Best believe you'll see this Deadpool jacket. For the listeners, I'm wearing a Deadpool jacket and a Hawaiian shirt. And I would like to say that we went to go see Deadpool and Wolverine for the second time last night, and I wore this outfit. Yes, I'm wearing this outfit again because I noticed that, yeah, of course, we were not planning on going again. Amber said maybe we should go last minute. My Deadpool jacket was already in my car from the last time we saw it, and because I've been wearing it everywhere since I saw it, and I'm wearing a Hawaiian shirt. And he, of course, wears Hawaiian shirts the whole movie and the whole press tour. It's the only thing Ryan Reynolds has been wearing. And I did it on accident, okay? It was just my outfit for the day because it was a hot day and it was the most convenient thing to wear. And I looked over at Amber and I said, Amber, I'm wearing a Hawaiian shirt and a Deadpool jacket. It looks like I dressed for this movie specifically. Like I look like an insane person. But so is life and such it is.
Girl, yes.
And here we are.
And here we are.
In the studio, surrounded by
Marvel.
And in the same exact way, we were surrounded by One Direction.
Exactly.
And I felt like I was in your childhood bedroom.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm in mine.
Yeah. Like,
I feel like I'm in 2012.
this is one of our top studio setups.
There's
this
Deadpool
one.
hanging from the ceiling.
Yeah.
There's an I Heart Marvel women's t-shirt where the heroes that are supposed to be red are a little pink instead because it's for girls.
Wait, really?
Look,
I just thought it was a faded red.
I know, but like, I think it's on purpose. So it's like pastel and cutesy and sparkly for Marvel girls.
Oh, I see the sparkles. Crazy.
I
I have my Spider-Man lamp.
have my Deadpool little figurine, and then I have these other little mini figurines, and there's a Spider-Man one, but he blends in with the studio lights.
His eyes looked weird on camera.
They're a little too far apart.
Yeah.
So are the other ones, but
Yeah, but because of the black and the white, it like he was sitting next to Deadpool and it just blended weirdly.
Deadpool is a different brand. He can stand up on his own.
Yep. Isn't that ironic?
I also have these little Captain America.
Oh, you know, what does they call them things? They call those things something. It's like a roly-poly thing.
Hideaway pets.
A hideaway pet.
Because look. Oh, I did not like that sound. It sounded like a boo-bah. Listen to the sound.
When their eyes stop.
But he's hiding. That's the sound of him hiding. And then...
There he is, ready to fight crime.
Okay.
All right.
Where do we even begin?
So
wait, we have
we're
to
here-
introduce ourselves.
Oh, right.
I'm Amanda.
I'm Amber.
This is Fangirl Central, where being a fangirl is central to our identity.
So today we are here on business because we discussed Amanda's relationship to Marvel and mine inherently.
in the
last episode.
Comic Con episodes.
Yes.
And we also just re-released our Spider-Man episode.
Yes.
So I recommend going to listen to that because Spider-Man is Amber's favorite. And
yes.
it was on it was her birthday episode, and I feel like if you're gonna listen to anything we have to say today, maybe go ahead and listen to those.
Yes. Because today we are ranking the MCU movies. I want to say a disclaimer. Because in preparation for this, because I was really stressed, I was like, how are we going to rank them? Like, I don't know. I want to say 2 disclaimers now. I've just thought of 2.
I think of them.
1, the last few movies from the MCU, like sporadically, I haven't seen. Sprinkles.
No.
Sprinkles. Like, I've seen Far From Home. I've seen No Way Home, obviously. I'm talking about post-Endgame. Obviously, I've seen those. But, like, there are some sprinkles of things I haven't seen.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, they're not going to get any real recognition from me because I haven't seen them. but also too, I think that
I
was
would like to ask for some recognition from this board.
and they can get it once I do the rewatch, and I'll watch them this time.
That was from The Social Network.
Oh my gosh, okay.
I remember last night when you were just kept quoting Jammin' in Jamaica. My
brain was
Amber's
glitching.
brain was glitching, and she kept saying quotes from My Scene Jammin' in Jamaica. But that is just, I'm sorry, when we hear something that's, I had to quote that because Amber said recognition, and I had to say I would like some recognition for this board. But that's just how it works. Okay,
Right.
continue.
But then the second disclaimer is, what was it?
That this is our ranking from when we were like, what we can remember.
Yeah, so that's the first one. Ranking from what we can remember, what we've seen. The second disclaimer is it's not a disclaimer, but I just want to say that the way that I'm approaching this isn't necessarily quality of film or storyline or whatever. Some of it will be, but it's also a mix of just pure joy and happiness that I had during the anticipation of it coming out.
And I will say that it's almost impossible for me to shut my critical eye off completely
As a film student.
as a filmmaker.
Yeah.
But I am also a fan. And so it is inextricably tied. Like it's I would be lying if I said my ratings of any of these movies were purely critical.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes. I think that because we're doing this bracket and we have to agree on it.
We have to.
And so I think that we're going to bump heads a little bit on ones that maybe don't deserve to be so close to the top critically, but I'm going to fight for it because I was going insane over it.
I will say that
At the time.
since this is a bracket, it's a little bit easier for me to turn my critical eye off.
Okay.
Because it's just, I feel like it's on instinct because it's just choosing between two.
It's instinct, y'all.
It's instinct, and it's also like what they meant to me and all.
Exactly.
And
like this is fangirl central. It's based on that. We're not writing an essay.
but also like we have been rewatching them, and it was spurred a little bit from all of it from Comic-Con because
Straight from Comic-Con.
we were in Hall H
30 minutes before the Marvel panel.
Yeah, because we had passes to the panel that was right before the Marvel Studios panel, and we were so bone tired
That we
didn't even try to stay. I don't think that we could have because there was a line for like the studio passes out the wazoo, like when I went outside. So I don't know if we even. I feel like they would have kicked us out.
Yeah. I think, you know what? For future reference, I think I might hide in the bathroom
But
and then stand along the wall.
listen, we left. And I said, and I talked to myself, I said, even if Sebastian Stan is here, it won't be enough to make me stay. And that boy was there. But that's not even what Robert Downey Jr. coming out as Dr. Doom. Like, I was like, okay, you got me, Marvel. Ha ha. I was saying I'm on 1 foot out the door. I don't care anymore. Like,
They like
you would have to. I
just
said
by
it-
the collar.
I said it on the last episode. I was like, you would have to like bring back every single one of the original Avengers for me to care. And sure, they didn't do that, but they brought Robert Downey Jr. back. And then I went and saw Deadpool and Wolverine.
And guess who was in that?
And
we won't say because
and listeners,
go
I
see
can't believe I'm saying this. I was so checked out of Marvel that I didn't know it was an MCU film. I had no fucking clue it was an MCU movie. I was just like, oh, the third Deadpool, and Wolverine's owned by Fox too.
I
so
can't believe that.
It's just an X-Men movie. And then I knew that Disney owned Fox, and I was like, oh, I wonder if they're going to do the multiverse. Haha. And I just didn't even think about it. And I didn't even know I didn't even really completely know that Deadpool and Wolverine was happening until this summer. And I was like, oh, that's nice.
I can relate to that because when I heard that was happening, I was like, really? Like, I was like, really? I was shocked. I have to say, I was like, but I thought, because I don't know much about X-Men or Wolverine, I'm gonna do that rewatch, or I'm gonna do that watch for the first time. I don't know how I missed it during the 2010s.
Well, it wasn't the 20. It was the 2000s.
I know, but my 2010s, when I was invested in catching up, I just completely disregarded it because it wasn't part of the universe.
Because it wasn't the MCU.
But I was shocked and confused. I will say, I was like, what that that's an official release. Like that's what's gonna happen. Because I just remember Deadpool making all the jokes about how it would never happen in the first movie. That's like the opening line of the first movie.
And he's talking about Wolverine the whole time. He's like, we can't afford him.
Yeah.
Like, and he was obviously in X-Men Origins Wolverine. That was the first appearance that he has, and they joke about that in the very first movie. And Ryan Reynolds has been trying to play Deadpool, blah, 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 blah. We all know the story. And I've been seeing the Deadpool movies, obviously, but I feel like I've been having my toe one foot in, one foot out. It's like, when I see Deadpool on my screen, it's over for me.
Yeah.
But anytime I'm out of the theater, I'm like, well, whatever. I forget about it. Like, I literally forgot about what happened in the first and second Deadpool. Like, we rewatched the first Deadpool recently and didn't even rewatch the second one. And when we went to go see the third one again last night, I was like, I leaned over to him and I was like, I don't know what happened in Deadpool 2.
The thing is, watching Deadpool 1, I was like, a lot of like the scenery, like not even the specific scenes, because I don't remember specific scenes at this point, but the things that I was thinking of weren't in Deadpool 1, so it must have been Deadpool 2. I think I just meshed them in my brain together.
I definitely meshed them together. And also Deadpool 2 came out the same year as Endgame. So I feel like I was like in a daze from Endgame and like approaching the end of things, and I just like wrote off the MCU. I mean, honestly, since 2018, and I know what it looks like. I know what I look like. You're surrounded by these things, and I'm like, I didn't know what was going on in the MCU.
But do you know,
I was so out of touch. I had no idea. Deadpool's my favorite fucking Marvel character, and I had no idea this was in the MCU. I cannot stress it enough. And when I heard the MCU song, I started to panic.
I think what happened to you is what happened to me with No Way Home. Because I was so checked out at all the rumors, and so were you. Except it wasn't a rumor; it was like literally confirmed. I really don't know how you. I
don't know why I was a little bit more checked in on No Way Home. I don't know why.
Because well, here's what I'll say. Because it
was MCU, and
what happened to you and to us? Because I'm going to include myself. What happened to us after Endgame is similar to what happened to me after One Direction wrapped it up. Mm-hmm. It's like it was such an intense hyperfixation through the years, through like almost a decade, that it was like...
It was almost the same amount of time, too, because it was 5 years for One Direction.
It was 2013.
And it was
their first Comic-Con and One Direction concert.
Yeah, but it started in 2012 and then went to 2018. It was literally almost the exact same amount of time.
Because One Direction started in 2012.
Yeah.
To 2016. But I think that it's such an intense hyperfixation that when it wraps up, when you see the bow kind of tie together and the incoming freshmen, I'll call them, aren't really giving the same, excitement. It's like a protection. It's like
intense drop off.
It's an intense drop off, and it's like self-protection of like, it's never gonna be that again. And in fact, maybe I was a little too intensely hyperfixated. Let me move on with my life. Right. Because personally for me, when I saw Endgame at the 8 a.m. showing with my friend Capri, and we saw our professor at the movie theater with her son at 8 a.m. ready to watch the end of it all, Endgame. And Capri and I cried so hard in Endgame. I got the biggest headache. I think we dehydrated ourselves from our tears, and I went home and I slept the rest of the day. This was an 8 a.m. showing, and I slept the rest of the day. I was like, and that's the end of it.
I saw Endgame with, bless their heart, a bunch of straight white boys that surprisingly don't give any fucks about Marvel. Like, they're film students, and film students don't like Marvel. I'll just say it. Like, film students think Marvel's evil, and like, I sort of agree. Like, I agree because they make these movies that are the same over and over.
They make these big old blockbusters where it's kind of like they're losing the plot, and it's like, why are we even all here?
The plot is bad. Like, nothing has to be good. The plot doesn't have to be good. The lighting doesn't have to be good. The acting doesn't have to be good. Like, none of the elements have to be good, and they spend so much money on them, and they make so much money, and they're kind of ruining the film industry. So that's just like why I have been a little bit on Marvel, and I can understand like why film people don't love it. You know, like Martin
100%.
Scorsese, when all the Marvel fans were like, fuck you, like Taxi Driver's not even that good. I'm like, you're wrong. He's just simply right. Like Martin Scorsese is right. I'm sorry. Some of these Marvel movies are just theme park rides, and I think that's okay. Because I'm having a splendid time. It's supposed to make you feel like you're reading a comic book. And I thought that Marvel fell off on the filmmaking and the entertainment value. And that's why I was mad. I was like, I don't care about this. I'm not having fun. It's boring. It's confusing. It doesn't make any sense. No Way Home brought me a little bit back because I felt like I was having a lot of fun. And so did I. And that's exactly what Deadpool Wolverine did for me.
Do I have a
lump in your throat?
lump in my throat? Like, I am getting emotional.
No, like, I do think that Marvel movies serve the purpose of being like entertaining and the exact same thing that comics are for people, because I feel like comics are a little bit like, you know, writing underdogs, because people who are novel purists don't think that comics are real art, and the same way some people don't think that Marvel movies are real art, but there's some value to it. There's some value to the elation of the it scratches the fandom itch in ways that have never been done in the movie theater.
Yeah.
Like, to this extent.
What I'll say is, I just think anything that imitates life is art. And that's me being cheesy.
Oh my God.
But it does imitate life, and you can't really just say something's not art. If it speaks to someone, it is.
I think I agree like to a certain extent, because I think that certain Marvel stuff has no artistic value at all.
Well, I agree with that, but that's what I'm saying. The things that imitate life are art, and some of the movies lost the plot. There's nothing really happening. There's nothing happening.
But you still say they're art.
No, I don't know.
I don't feel like, I feel like most even Marvel movies, I would argue, aren't art, but they are like.
I have to disagree, because what I'm thinking of. Here's what I'll say. What I'm thinking of is the the reason why I said that is because I'm picturing the scenes of like 3 Spider-Mans flying through the air like a comic strip, and Wolverine and Deadpool jumping out of those, jumping into the vortex like a comic book strip.
Yeah.
And I think that is artistic. And even if the plot is a little loose, some of those capturings, it's still art.
I think, well, okay, I won't say all Marvel movies, but some Marvel movies to me are not art. They're just like products. They're like consumer products.
And I agree with that.
Like this.
But I have to say that I think that I haven't watched those, or the ones that I did is what the reason I stopped watching it. Like, once it became something that was consumerism, I didn't. Did you pay attention?
The fourth Thor?
No.
Yeah, it was
like
really
I
bad.
fell off after Endgame. I'm telling you, I fell off after Endgame so badly that I didn't even know that there were rumors that Andrew Garfield was gonna be in No Way Home, because I stopped paying attention to Spider-Man and Tom Holland and Marvel as a whole, because I was like, it doesn't matter what they're saying or who is saying what or what could possibly be going on in this film. My ass is gonna be sat in a theater. I don't need to know any details.
Yeah.
I don't need to see a trailer. I'm only paying attention to Spider-Man from the MCU, and I was happy to do that.
Yeah.
Like,
I understand. I would just ask because even before Endgame, like there's parts of Endgame that are good and that are artistic, but I think that a lot of these movies are a mixed bag. Like some, like, because yes, Endgame gave me the same thrill I get when I see the Avengers assemble in the comics, but like, if you look at Endgame, it looks bad. Like, it looks drab. Like, you can't see anything. It's not colorful. It's all gray and dark. And it's like we've lost the art of filmmaking and like lighting. Like, literally just lighting and like making it, using the full scope of the medium,
but
the ways that the Marvel movies used to at the beginning, or like even like
but
the
don't
movies
you
in
think
the
that
early
it kind of
2000s.
looked dark because it was?
No,
I feel like, because
you
Endgame,
have to look.
The lighting of Endgame reminds me of the lighting of the last Harry Potter.
You got to look at the last Harry Potter though, and look at the contrasts and how you can see everything going on the screen. Like, put them side by side, and you'll see that the last few Harry Potter movies are extremely colorful, even when it's nighttime. Even when when something's supposed to be one color and it's dark. Like, you got to look at movies like 10, 20 years ago, like the Lord of the Rings battle sequences, for example, that all take place at night. You can see it so clearly, but you can also see that it's night. There's a way to light a night scene in film, and people just don't do it anymore because it takes more time and it takes more money.
I don't remember how it was lit in any of, like, not even Endgame. So this is a conversation that you're gonna have to have with someone who's on your level. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, well, that's just my opinion.
Yeah,
my opinion is that the movies have gotten worse, and because they will make money anyway. They'll make money anyway, so they don't have to make it look good or make them actually good.
Yes, I agree with that 100%. I agree with that 100% because I feel like even even before Endgame, there were movies where I was like, it's not the same. That's why when Endgame happened, it was an out. It was like legitimately an out because it wasn't the same leading up to it at the last few years. That when it happened, it was like the part of it that was good is officially done.
Right.
It reminds me of when Zayn left One Direction, and it also reminds me of when Degrassi went to Netflix.
It also
because I was trying to pay attention to when Degrassi went to Netflix just because I had dedicated my life to it. But after it stopped on Netflix, I was like, I can admit that this wasn't the same.
It also reminds me of like when Hannah Montana went off, and then the Jonas Brothers broke up, and then finally Wizards of Waverly Place went off, and it was like, I'm done with Disney Channel. Like, I don't have any business being here.
And it wasn't that good towards the end anyway.
Also, when the original cast of Glee graduated, they were still on the show, but when they moved to New York, it just wasn't the same.
It wasn't the same, and you were hanging on because you dedicated your life to them, but it was like,
it really wasn't the same.
End it.
Like, just end it.
Like, same with Teen Wolf. It's like,
I didn't even finish Teen Wolf.
I will not sit here and discuss the Teen Wolf movie.
No. But I do want to say, because my feelings about Marvel are very complex. Like, going back and watching them, I do not like how they're like just propaganda for the military. Like, I really don't like how it's all caught up in there, and I don't agree with the politics that are presented where it's like, oh, the good guys, and like they literally use the term human shields in Iron Man and as a reason that they didn't fire, and I'm like, as if American imperialism doesn't do that. But I like, back when I was a teenager, I didn't fully grasp all of that. I was just like, oh, like, it's fun superheroes in costumes, and there's like. But anyway, my feelings about this are nuanced. One thing that I think is something that anti-Marvel people say that I do not agree with is, well, now, and it's even more nuanced. My unpopular opinion is that I think it's okay that the lore is complex and that you have to watch other movies and TV shows in order to understand certain things about the lore. I think it's okay. Sometimes it goes too far. But they'll make like Deadpool made a joke about it being like, this guy from Loki season 1 episode 5. Like, I thought that was hilarious because it was like, yeah, nobody would know what that was. But you didn't have to know, honestly, that he was in Loki. You didn't even have to know about the TVA.
No,
being in Loki.
It's just like, if you know, you know.
You know.
Yeah.
I do think that in this gap since Endgame. And they say, like, you've joined the MCU at a low point. I think that they have gotten too out of hand with it being, like, all these different layers. And, like, you have to understand this to do this. Like, you have to watch all of WandaVision to understand them Disney Plus shows.
Doctor
Strange.
I will, obviously, now that I'm rewatching. But at the time, when they were coming out, I was like, I'm done here. I watched the first season of Loki. I watched WandaVision, and I liked it. I
could not watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Okay, yes, because I started that, and... Bless them. I mean, it was Sebastian Stan and Anthony Mackie, and that didn't grasp me. Are you kidding me? Like, that's like,
you guys, look,
I had to the writer's room and sit for a second.
The Winter Soldier's up on this table, okay? I talked about Sebastian Stan and how he was really big for me getting into the MCU, and I could not... Falcon and Winter Soldier was where I drew... I was like, I'm never watching one of these again.
Yeah, literally.
And honestly, the end of WandaVision, I liked WandaVision, but the end, I thought, was bad. I thought it was the same exact ending that Marvel always has. They always have like a CGI fight with a villain that's a little bit slightly worse version of the superhero, and it's just like, why do I care about? I don't care about this CGI fight in the middle of the sky.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, okay, like the same thing happened in Shang-Chi, the same thing happened in Black Panther 2. I'm like, I don't even care. I can't even follow what they're doing. It's CGI, which is what I loved about Deadpool Wolverine. The fight scenes were so good.
Yeah.
They were like visceral and they felt like a comic book. I felt like it was like literally energetic and Sean and like real creative direction.
Yeah.
Sean Levy is a very good director.
I think it was really well choreographed. I think there you can tell a difference between,
and there was barely any CGI. It was like mostly practical.
Yes. Yeah, like you can tell that they were like on the mat rehearsing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's fine that you have to follow some lore because it's like,
I think that's
get with
the fun
lore.
part. That's the fun part. I mean,
comics have been around for like 80 years.
I didn't understand all of the lore while watching, but when I went back and did understand it, it made it even more fun to watch.
Yeah.
So was the other, do you have a part of you that thinks the lore is too much? Because you said I don't.
No, a lot of people think the lore is too much.
Oh.
A lot of people like, but people would say that even when like just the Avengers was out, they'd be like, "There's too much for me to follow. Like I don't even understand." And I'm like, "What do you mean there's too much for you to follow? It's not that difficult. You watched 8 Harry Potter movies."
No, I don't. Like I think that if the lore is too much for people, that's completely fine.
It's not for you.
Just don't catch up, because that's the same reason why I don't watch all of the Real Housewives. There's way too much, and I'm not going to start it. But I see why people like it. I'm not going to sit here and say there's too much because the people want it.
Yeah,
put it together.
There's obviously a market. And it's like comic books. Like comic books are overwhelming.
Yes.
You're like, what kind of lore? But
so many issues.
But I feel like that's like what makes people like to get obsessed with stuff is like, oh, there's so much here.
Yes. And no
Like-
one's ever like really dead.
And I'll never finish learning about this.
Right.
Like it's a little bit
It's a lifelong.
masochistic to be like, and I'll never know it all. But that makes me so excited. But it's just like, I don't know, it's never ending. Obviously, we also just came back from Comic-Con. And we touched on that. We didn't mention that we went to the last One Direction concert during a Comic-Con weekend.
Right.
though.
That was one of the longest, most exhausting days of my life. It was emotionally draining. I remember when our mother asked, "How was the concert, girls?" I just burst into tears because it was the first concert of the American leg, and it was also the very first concert that Zayn wasn't. It was the first time they started a leg of a tour without Zayn, because he left in the middle of the last leg.
Yeah.
And I was just depressed.
And it was the only one, like, it was the last one.
It was not the same. It was sad.
It wasn't the same
also,
at all.
It was 2015, so that year at Comic-Con wasn't even that
Yeah,
fun.
it was like the most depressing year at Comic-Con because we tried to get into Hall H, I feel like, and we were so far back, so much further back than we were. Or no, I feel like Marvel wasn't there.
No. That was the one with you went to Spider-Man panel and I went to DC panels. That was
in
that.
2015.
2015.
Yeah, and I was really, really, really far back in Hall H. It was not the same as the year before, and it was like the same thing, like where One Direction was falling off, and so was Marvel.
Yeah.
And like
That's why I didn't wait in line, because I didn't wait in line for 2 reasons for Marvel, because I had to choose between Ballroom 20 for the DC TV shows and Marvel, but I saw how far back the Marvel line was that I knew it wasn't going to be the same as 2014. So I was like, I'm going to weigh my options. I know I'm going to get closer to the DC thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, maybe that'll be a better experience, which honestly, I love that panel, but I will never forgive myself for not seeing Tom Holland and Zendaya on that stage.
that's crazy. I didn't like barely remember them being there because I was so far back I couldn't even see them.
I remember all the photos and me just being like, great.
It was
I
so
wasn't there.
we were both so down and like
Down.
I know that yes, okay, Marvel is my like same level of One Direction, but like somebody asked me, they were like, what do you think of Jeremy Renner? And I literally sighed and I was like, unfortunately, like those white men are my boy band. Like I was ride or die for and the original Avengers, and then a little bit of the other ones like Loki and Sebastian Stan. Like I'm like, I just feel for those white, and like I feel like for Jeremy Renner the way Amber feels about Liam. Like it's like I can't say anything ill about him. Like
I just wished him the best.
I wish him
I wish him his best.
I like have nothing, I'm not attracted to him, but he has a special place in my heart because of the Avengers and because he was like one of my white men when I was 16. But I just really had to say that. I will say this. and we can move on. Deadpool, I've talked about him sporadically on this podcast. He is my favorite Marvel character, and he has been since I started reading his comics when I was 16 and I discovered who he was. I can't really say why. Like, if you ask me why, I'm like, get all flustered. I wasn't paying attention to anything that was going on, obviously. Since seeing Deadpool and Wolverine, since Amber dragged me to see it, like, I was not taking the initiative to go see it. Amber's like, we have to see Deadpool and Wolverine. And I said, okay. Since that day,
there are too many spoilers swirling around. That's why I was like, we need to go.
I know. I felt the same way.
We were planning on seeing it, but once people started talking about how intense the cameos and spoilers were, I was like, I'm not having this ruined. We need to see this as soon as possible, because our goal was to see it Comic-Con weekend, but we were too busy and too tired.
Right.
So I was like, as soon as we need to see it as soon as possible.
It came out July 26th. We saw it August 5th, and since that day, I've probably watched close to 50 interviews of Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman, but I'll also watch the ones of Ryan Reynolds by himself. Okay? And let me tell you this. I've kept my distance from that man since he started being Deadpool, because I feel so intensely about Deadpool that I don't need to get it wrapped up in a real white man.
Fair.
I'm going down a slippery slope. I'm not proud of it.
It happens to the best of us.
And I feel insane. I feel insane.
It just is crazy. It's just a little dangerous with this case, because Ryan Reynolds, like, quite literally is just being himself as Deadpool.
And every single time, Amber, shut up. Like, you say that every single time, and I'm like, be quiet.
Well, that's because when the first Deadpools came out, when Deadpool 1 and 2 came out, you did not give me much discussion, much conversation about it, and I knew how much Deadpool was your favorite superhero, or was your favorite Marvel character, and so that's why I was like, well, I guess Amanda hates Deadpool, like the rendition of Deadpool, because you didn't like Ryan Reynolds that much, and I'm like, well, this is just Ryan Reynolds. But I see now it was just your own wall up for protection.
I didn't dislike him. I just had to feel nothing about him. I had to feel nothing about him because he just... I'm not proud of this, y'all.
No, I'm listening.
I'm not proud of this, okay? I've been watching only, like, literally, if you go on my YouTube history, it's just Ryan Reynolds. If you go on my YouTube recommended, it's just new stuff that Ryan Reynolds has said about Deadpool, or, like, his YouTube account where he, like, does skits as Deadpool. And I hope to God he never sees this, but I just have to say my truth, because I feel like some people are feeling the same way. I don't know who, but I've never met a girl who's as obsessed with Deadpool as me, and I would like to hear about it. So text me if that's you, so that we can commiserate, because I feel like I can't talk about this in mixed company without sounding like insane. Like, whenever people are like, oh, what movie did you just go see? And I'm like, Deadpool and Wolverine. And they're like, oh, like, they want to have a normal conversation about it. I'm like, I can't have a normal conversation about it, because I'm obsessed with Deadpool, and I read Spider-Man Deadpool fan fiction, and I hadn't in over a decade, and this movie made me again. And I've probably read so much, like, so many words, so thousands, hundreds of thousands of words of fan fiction between Peter Parker and Wade Wilson because of this movie. And I really liked the movie. I was very, very entertained. I loved all the references and the cameos. I had the most fun I've ever had in a movie theater for a long time.
It was such a revival. Like, honestly, like, this is like a confirmation of a reunion, basically.
And if Deadpool becomes part of the Avengers, then just dig my grave now. And also the bye sequence. Before before we met this morning, I watched like 5 different compilations of all of the times that he dances in bye in that sequence. And I also watched the behind the scenes of
see it.
the dancer that is the body double that does the dances.
Bless him.
And I just kept rewinding.
Yeah, I want to watch it because honestly, when we went to go see it last night, I was staring so hard at the screen trying to catch the glimpses of when he's dancing versus fighting.
I'm sweating and like
it's so hot.
It's just like, okay.
Let's get into this.
Yeah, let's get into this.
Let's rank, y'all.
Let's rank.
Okay, are you ready to do this?
Yeah.
All right.
Iron Man versus the Hulk. The Incredible Hulk.
This is already stumping me. Let's discuss. Let me tell you what I'm thinking. Iron Man is really important. It's the one that began the whole thing. We know that Kevin Feige like fought for it.
Yeah.
And was trying to prove to them that he could do this. So that's why I think Iron Man's important. But Incredible Hulk gives me a bit of like an adrenaline rush while watching. It makes me excited to see. I don't know. I just feel like it's one of those movies that I can give a lot of my own commentary to. Like, why would you? Why are y'all trying to shoot this man with pellets? He's so big.
Yeah,
like it makes me laugh. Honestly, I laugh watching the Hulk. But Iron Man, it's just where it began, and
I think I'm gonna have to pick. I think I'm gonna have to pick Iron Man.
I think so too because the Hulk is such a pleasure to watch, but after they brought Tony Stark, after they brought Robert Downey Jr. on the Hall H stage, I immediately was like, are they gonna save MCU? So we have to kind of give it to Iron Man, I think. All right, we're set on that?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, Hulk.
Iron Man 2 versus Thor.
Also, I'll say they never had any Hulk movies.
No, they haven't had any Hulk movies since.
Okay, Iron Man 2 versus Thor.
I have to say Thor because I really don't like Iron Man 2.
Iron Man 2 kind of pisses me off.
Me too.
Okay, Thor.
The Avengers versus Iron Man 3. It's the Avengers all the way for me.
What kind of question? Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
The Avengers beats all of the ones we've discussed before.
It's Avengers. Oh, this is even harder.
Oh no, what is it? It's
the Avengers versus Captain America.
No, don't do that. I'm gonna still say
Has to
Avengers.
be Avengers.
I'm definitely still saying Avengers. The only I was gonna say the only thing, but no. The thing about Captain America that excites me the most, is the end credit scene when he runs out and he's in New York City. I think that's the coolest shot ever. I think it's the coolest shot ever.
Yes.
He runs out and is in Times Square. It's amazing. Like that is the most exciting thing to watch Captain America, the first Avenger,
run out into modern day New York.
That's the last thing you see before you leave the theaters, and you just know the Avengers are coming.
Wee mama.
That's such a good end credit scene.
I can't believe they did that still. We have to watch that tonight.
Oh my god. Sorry.
Okay, Iron Man 3 versus Thor the Dark World. So, Thor the Dark World sucks.
I think I hated Thor the Dark World.
Sucks.
I remember I remember Iron Man 3 actually was my first was my favorite Iron Man at the time. When I watched Iron Man 3, that was the first Iron Man I saw in theaters, and so it was my favorite at the time because I was like, "Oh, I'm in it. Oh, I know what's going on. I'm caught up." And so I really enjoyed it. And then Thor Dark World, it was just a little slow for me.
It's not good. Love you, Christopher Eccleston. He plays the Dark Elf.
Okay, I thought you were trying to say Chris Hemsworth's middle name, and I was like, wow, since when have you known Chris's middle name? What is it? Should I look it up?
I don't know.
I'm gonna look it up.
Okay,
yeah, keep going. I'm gonna look it up though.
The Winter Soldier versus Guardians of the Galaxy. That's hard. It's the Winter Soldier for me.
The thing is, Chris Hemsworth doesn't have a middle name. Hold on, that's not how I was gonna finish that sentence. Yeah, it's just Christopher Hemsworth. Born on August 11th.
Yeah, he's a Leo.
That's 2 days before Sebastian.
Yep.
Not me getting distracted.
Taika is also a Leo. I don't know what his birthday is, though.
Okay, wait.
The Winter Soldier versus Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, Winter Soldier. But what I'll say is, I remember loving Guardians of the Galaxy. I wanted to see it again and again.
Me too. I think
soundtrack was good.
2014 was the last good year of Marvel movies, in my opinion.
That was a strong year. But I have to disagree.
For what?
The last year of good Marvel movies.
What do you think it is?
2016.
Oh, I didn't. I thought Civil War was a very deep drop off. I thought it was worse than the Winter Soldier.
And I hear you, and that's why I was saying earlier that we're gonna disagree somewhere, because that actually is the one movie I was thinking of when I said that.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because my disclaimer was I'm thinking about how important the anticipation was to me at the time, and then the lead up. I'll say this when we get there.
Okay. Avengers: Age of Ultron versus Ant-Man.
That one's hard for not a positive reason.
I think I don't like either of them.
Neither do I. That's why I said it's hard for not a positive reason, because I don't even know what I would put above it. I'll say
I hated Age of Ultron though, and I did not hate Ant-Man.
I really hated Age of Ultron too, just because of the way it left things. It stressed me the shit out of me. And I also didn't think that Aaron Taylor Johnson was gonna leave us that soon. I was annoyed that he never came back after that.
Okay. So Ant-Man, because Avengers: Age of Ultron, it offended me.
No, it offended me because I was about to say the absolute last straw was Natasha and the Hulk. Natasha and
Oh
Bruce.
my God. I forgot about that. I was disgusted.
I was like, why is Natasha gently caressing the Hulk's fist?
Oh, that was also the first one that I watched officially in college. So everyone knew me as the Marvel girl. And I remember walking out. I went dressed. I cosplayed as the Scarlet Witch to go see it with all my college friends. And they were like, Amanda, what did you think? I was silent walking out of the theater. And they're like, Amanda, what did you think of that? And I was just like, I think I need to see it again.
That sucks.
That's
like the worst feeling.
Oh my God, what the hell? And that's why going to Comic-Con that year, I was like,
that's crazy that you said that, because that is the worst feeling, because that's how I felt about the One Direction concert that Zayn wasn't at. It's like
the same exact. And wait, okay, if that was 2015, then Zendaya must have not been there. It must have just been Tom, because the following year was Civil War.
No. Tom did not go to Comic-Con until Spider-Man was announced. Tom went to Comic-Con in 2015. Age of Ultron was there in 2014. That's the one that we stayed out. And that's the longest
I know,
time.
but I'm saying in 2015, Zendaya wasn't there because she hadn't been cast as MJ yet, because that movie came out in 2017.
Tom didn't come to anything for the Civil War.
Well, then he wasn't there. Well, then you must have camped out.
So he was there for 2016.
Yeah, that must have been the year that you camped out for Ballroom 20.
Okay, because Tom and Zendaya's Comic-Con was the same Comic-Con.
I feel like Marvel skipped it in 2015.
Yeah, you're right. And so I was that was when we were wandering outside.
We had nothing to do. We were aimless.
Okay.
And depressed.
What the fuck did we do that year?
We stayed out in the back of the IMDb, but we went to like the outdoor activations and stuff that we had never heard of. Like,
is that when
that was the first year that we saw that FX had that thing on the green. And it used to be that you didn't have to wait in line for it. It was just open to seating. But that was the first year that we even saw.
Can I say that I don't know why you need a line for that place? Just open it up.
Just open it up.
It's literally nothing. I'm sorry.
It's just the green.
Like it's just activations that you can walk through.
Yeah, and it takes no time at all to walk through them. So I don't understand why you have to stand outside in so much heat just to get in those.
Yeah,
I think it's stupid.
I wonder if maybe the lines for the photos with the activation started getting out of hand, so they just made it that. I don't know.
Okay, the next one is Captain America: Civil War and Doctor Strange.
Oh, Civil War.
Yeah.
Here's what I'm gonna say about Civil War though. The way that I loved Civil War. No, I'll wait until we get
Guardians of the Galaxy 2 versus Spider-Man Homecoming. I thought Guardians of the Galaxy 2 was so disappointing.
I can't really remember it.
I thought it was so disappointing compared to the first one. Are there? I thought there were only 3.
Okay.
Are there 4?
Maybe.
There might. Damn.
Maybe.
See, I've fallen off.
Exactly.
I don't know. Okay. Thor Ragnarok versus Black Panther.
Oh, what? Oh no, wait. Okay, wait. Wait, because before we started this, I said when we get to Black Panther, it's gonna be Black Panther. But I did love Ragnarok. Let me say this. The reason I assumed it was going to be Black Panther was because that experience watching Black Panther in
Unparalleled.
theaters was one of the greatest theater experiences I've ever had in my entire life.
Unparalleled.
I went with 3 of my Black friends from college. The theater was packed with Black people. Watching a Black movie in the theaters is already fun. To watch a Black Marvel movie in theaters was insane. All of the memes leading up to it and the way that all of the memes came true when it happened. Like, it was like the Black people are rolling deep to the theaters. A Black Marvel superhero. It was so good. All of the one-liners, all of it. It was It was exciting.
I was at the Black Panther world premiere in Los
Right?
Angeles at El Capitan Theater, and I met the whole cast because my film school had like a Black Film Students Association type thing, and we were literally there. It was unbelievable. I was in the same section as Taika and Ava DuVernay, and like the theater was so fucking big, Amber. Like, and everyone's reactions was just insane. It was like cackling and cheering and whooping. It was like we were in church.
So magical. Wait,
it was literally like we were in church. The way that it felt like very similar to going to see Get Out.
Yes.
And being like, what did they just say?
Exactly, but with all the hype of Marvel.
I
on
had
top of
never
it.
seen a Black superhero. None of us had. And like it was very, very small that what we got in Civil War, but it was badass. But to have it be like, oh my God.
It was powerful.
It was crazy.
The lines, like the way the scenes in Oakland, the Michael B. Jordan's lines. Oh God, what did he say? He said, "I'd rather be in the ocean with my ancestors than doing all this shit."
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I just lost it.
Amber's been crying. I think we have to write down Black Panther because I thought that Thor Ragnarok was
It was a fun watch.
decent and fun, but I also think it's a little bit over
It's crazy.
hyped.
No, yeah, it's crazy. I can think of it was funny. It was just a fun watch. Like
It's fun.
I can think of like 3 scenes that I liked. I liked the scene where they did the help my brother's injured. That one was funny.
Oh yeah, that was funny.
All of Taika Waititi's lines were funny, and then something else. But
Thor.
Just
the Hulk
yes, the whole idea of Thor and the whole. It was just that was fun. But
and Valkyrie.
yes, and Valkyrie. But Black Panther wins. Sorry.
Okay, Avengers: Infinity War, Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Infinity Wars. I don't
Infinity
even
War,
think I
'cause
saw the Wasp. Oh, I did, but I don't remember a thing that happened in it.
I don't like Infinity War very much,
I don't like it that much either, but it's better than.
but
Ant-Man
I
and the
don't
Wasp.
like Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Mhm.
That's for sure.
Infinity
yeah.
War stressed the shit out of me. I remember.
Stressed the shit
I remember after
out of me.
Infinity War. Wait, how does that one end? Where did they end with that?
The snap.
Okay, but
It dissolved like the blip.
okay, so
It ends with the blip, and Spider-Man says,
No,
"Mr. Stark,
stop.
I don't feel so
please
good.
Please don't do this.
I don't
I've
feel
already
so good,
cried.
Mr. Stark."
Please don't do this. Don't do that. Thank you, but no, thank you. I think it was after Civil War you told me that there was a chance that I was like, where are they going with this? Like, how is this all? And you told me that in the comics Civil War, and the Civil War that happens in the comics, you know, one of them or both of them dies. Tony Stark and Steve. And so I was like, that's weird. I was like, are you sure? I was like, so what do you think is gonna happen? And you said, I don't know. I said, you don't think they would? I remember. I don't know if it was after Civil War or the Infinity Wars, but I said, you don't think they would? It wasn't after Infinity Wars. It was earlier. It was after Civil War. I said, you don't think they would do that though? You don't think they're gonna kill them because that's not gonna happen? And you were like, I've been hearing that they might.
I just was like, they've been these characters for so long. I feel like they're gonna leave.
Yeah.
And so they did,
and
but not in this movie.
Not in this movie.
I just think that now we're getting to the territory where I haven't seen these movies in a really long time, probably since they came out.
Yeah.
I just think that the logic in Infinity War is a little bit muddled. I'm like, what's going on? Like,
it was all over the place.
why does Thanos want to erase half of. He could do anything. He has the power to do anything he wants with these fucking fingers, and he decides to erase half of the galaxy
Yeah.
or the universe.
Yeah.
Instead of, I don't know, making more resources available. Why don't you just wish for universe-wide peace? It's just like, what? You have so much power, and that's your one wish? It's just like,
I can't.
what's wrong with you? That's what I remember thinking and being like, what? This is what we're fighting? Flawed logic. It's flawed.
Yeah.
I have a problem with flawed logic in movies. I can have my, like, I can suspend my disbelief with, like, fantasy and sci-fi and, like, magic and stuff. But if it's flawed logic, I'm like, what?
I have an aversion to people flaking away. Like, when they started dissolving, it triggered me to watching Deathly Hallows Part 2. Sorry to bring it up for the third time in this episode. But I was like, what are they doing? I was like, you can't be serious. Yeah. I remember leaving that movie and being like, and then they flaked away. Like, I don't like that. I really don't. I didn't like it when they did it to Voldemort because it didn't happen in the book, and I didn't like it here.
I think
it's like kind of I think it's a cop-out, as they say in Love Island.
I don't think I've seen Infinity War more than one time.
I don't think so.
I think
either.
I saw it in theaters one time.
No. I've seen it twice.
I didn't see it again.
I saw it in theaters one time, and then I think I did watch it over the pandemic. Or maybe it was Endgame.
Because Infinity War came out in 2017. It had to have, because Endgame came out in 2018, and Civil War was 2016.
It came out in 2017. Yeah, it was. It was back to back.
I just do not think about Infinity War because I don't like it. Anyway, we chose it.
It stressed me out a lot.
Captain Marvel versus Avengers Endgame.
What? I'm annoyed with that because I don't want to put that
It's literally just all
I know
in order.
I know, I've noticed. I just don't like that that's how it lined up. But yeah, Endgame.
Duh. Spider-Man Far From Home or Black Widow. I did not see Black Widow.
Black Widow Far From Home. It was going to be Spider-Man anyway, sorry.
Shang-Chi or The Eternals?
I didn't see either of them. Fuck Harry Styles. Pick Shang-Chi. Who let Harry Styles in the MCU? Who let Harry Styles in the MCU?
Ever. You knocked over Deadpool. I did not see The Eternals, and so I'm going to pick Shang-Chi. Spider-Man No Way Home, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
I didn't even have to hear the next one. It's Spider-Man No Way Home. Wait a second.
Yeah, I didn't see Multiverse of Madness.
Did we skip? Oh no, okay. I was like, did we skip Homecoming? It was with Thor, wasn't it?
Yeah. We didn't see Multiverse of Madness.
No, we didn't.
Thor, Love and Thunder, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Ugh, I didn't like either of these movies.
I didn't see Thor, Love and Thunder, so Black Panther. That depressed
Thor,
the
Love
shit
and Thunder
out of me,
was bad. It was
like, I actually heard that a lot.
But I also really, really, really didn't like Black Panther 2.
I didn't really like what they were doing in that.
I thought it was so boring. I thought it was so boring. Obviously, I cried.
I don't want to talk about this.
I obviously cried. But I have to say just one thing. I'll say one thing. And it's that I didn't like the way that they presented black people fighting brown people. And I felt like they were all too smart for that.
I hated that.
I felt like they were all all knew that their enemy wasn't each other and it was the white people.
I completely forgot that was the plot because I forgot that. I think I don't remember a lot about that movie, but now that you say that, I remember being in the theater and being like, wait, why did they go with this? Why do we go with this rivalry? Like, this is not helpful at the time at all.
I really, really did not like that.
No, let's move on. What's the next one?
Okay, the next one is Iron Man versus Thor.
What? Oh my God, the first installment? We're on the next level?
Yes.
Okay. How are we on the next
watched
level?
Thor. Oh wait, no. I forgot one last one, but this is like a stupid one. Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, which what? I missed that.
I didn't watch that.
Versus Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and I don't think
did I see that?
I saw that.
I don't think I saw that either.
There's gonna have to be an X here. We're gonna have to sit one out.
Get rid of that. Do you remember in Naked Brothers Band, the Polar Bears, when everyone hated on Alex for calling Santa fat?
Yep. No.
But he wasn't even.
He said we're bigger than Santa Claus.
Santa Claus, but
Oh, but then
Then they
he
were
did.
like, they called.
He was like, I'm
they
just saying
called
that
Santa
was
a big fat
big.
blubber belly. Simply is not even the concept of what the child was trying to say. That was the most ridiculous thing. Okay, but that is realistic. We're not talking about Naked Brothers Band. Okay, so we're on the next level. We're on the next
We're on the next one.
the next round. We're now dwindling down what we've chosen.
This is gonna be difficult. I can already tell.
Let's go.
Iron Man versus Thor. Let's go. Wait, let's go easy to hard. Black Panther wins because we don't have Black Panther versus Antum Quantumania. We don't know what that is. So Black Panther wins that too. Okay, Shang-Chi versus No Way Home.
What the fuck?
No Way Home. Sorry, Shang-Chi. I enjoyed it. Did you see it?
No.
I enjoyed it, and then the end devolved into what it always devolves into. Spider-Man Far From Home versus Endgame.
That's too hard right now.
We're going
That's the easiest one you can get?
Yeah.
Okay, Spider-Man No Way Home, Far From Home versus
Far From Home
Endgame.
versus Endgame. My opinion is Endgame because I think No Way Home is the best one of Spider-Man's. And I do think Endgame is better than Far From Home.
I was also going to say Endgame because if I'm being completely honest, Far From Home, the timing that it came out was not good for me. I did not want to see that movie. I went against my will.
Ever.
Because I was on the track of cutting off my hardcore obsession with Tom Holland because I thought it had gotten a little out of hand, while also trying to support him because I admire him. And so I went to go see that movie and had to be level-headed throughout the whole thing. And it also stressed the fuck out of me. And I also hate to see Peter Parker cry. So fuck Far From Home. Put Endgame.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. Black Panther versus Infinity War.
Black Panther.
Yeah, I, again, don't like Infinity War.
That's based on movie experience. Black Panther was the best movie experience ever.
This is going to get hard. Okay, Civil War versus Spider-Man Homecoming.
Oh, fuck. Spider-Man Homecoming. I don't know why I thought so long at all. But I
really?
Well, what I'll say
surprises me for you.
What I'll say,
because I agree.
Oh, okay. Well, what I'll say is Civil War. When I got the DVD, I did rewatch Spider-Man's scene over and over and over again. I would go to the scene on the DVD and watch it over and over and over and over again. And because it got me so excited at the idea that Spider-Man was going to be in the MCU.
Now, wait a minute. You've changed my mind.
Because that scene is amazing.
Well, but they also introduced Black Panther. Yeah. And also the central relationship of that movie is Bucky and Steve.
Yes. Civil War is like one of the great, I'm so sorry, but I think it's honestly one of the most exciting ones to watch. I personally
it is one of the most exciting ones
to watch that movie because I'm like, this is when it's getting good. Okay. Like they are bringing in the new characters that people are anticipating for in a great ass way. Like it was that year's Deadpool and Wolverine.
It was, well, yeah, because it was just an Avengers movie, and I was a little disappointed. My beef with that movie is that I wish it was a Captain America movie, but it's not. It's an Avengers movie,
and I love the Avengers Civil War.
I love the Avengers movies, but I didn't like how they shoehorned. But I love the Captain America ensemble that is in Winter Soldier. I love, and I wish that they had taken that moment to be a more intimate, like ensemble movie of the Captain America ensemble, and not like. Everybody.
Yeah, I get that.
But I still like the movie.
It was just so exciting because, yeah, it basically was an Avengers movie. I mean, Tony Stark was in it. It was like, it was the first solo film where so many important other characters were in it. Yeah. That had never happened before. We've been seeing these solo films and they're all separated. And then this one, it was like Captain America's so tightly threaded through the MCU that Tony Stark is in his movie now.
Okay. Now my vote is a Civil War.
I can do that. I mean, I watched it. I watched that scene over and over again. I do think that scene, I do like that scene more than I like the entire Spider-Man Homecoming.
Whoa. I mean, Spider-Man Homecoming to me is a little bit slow.
It's just, I mean, it doesn't seem, and I know they were
I
doing
like
this on
that
purpose.
movie.
I know they were doing this on purpose, but it doesn't seem like an MCU movie. And they were doing that on purpose. They were trying to make it like a teen indie film. So I get it. But I also just have beef with how they marketed Zendaya so heavily and then she had 2 seconds in it. And I also understand their planning there, but still.
Yeah.
I take that film, that Spider-Man to me, Spider-Man Homecoming was kind of like mine, whereas like I didn't realize that everyone else had eyes on it. Like other Marvel fans had eyes on it. I was like, this is my film. This is for me. The same way I the same.
That's how I felt about the Captain America movies.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel about Deadpool movies. I don't like when people ask me about Deadpool because I will go insane. Like it's taking me a lot of energy not to be insane.
Exactly. Like it's the same sentiment of like, don't come up to me and talk to me about Harry's solo career.
Right.
Unless you are coming from where I'm coming from.
Right. We don't have to discuss it.
You don't know who Harry Styles
It's okay.
is.
And I'm not saying that your opinions are wrong or at all.
Exactly.
I just don't want to get into this.
Yeah. It's just like, it's not something that I talk about publicly.
Will not be seeing eye to eye unless you're a very specific type of person.
This was created for me. And no one else was in mind.
Now I'm like, because it's like Deadpool and Wolverine is the biggest movie of the year. It's the biggest rated R movie of all time. And I'm like, what? Other people saw it?
It's like, what do you have to do with Deadpool and Wolverine?
Other people saw it? What? I've had this jacket for so long.
Yes. No, exactly.
They're like, you know what Deadpool is? And I'm like, what? You know what
Deadpool and Wolverine is? Yeah.
Okay, the Winter Soldier versus Ant-Man. The Winter Soldier.
Come on.
Ant-Man literally get fucked. I'm sorry.
Come on.
Those movies made me so mad. This is why 2015 made me so mad. Every year after 2014 made me mad because the consistency just wasn't there anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, Avengers versus Iron Man 3. For me, it's Avengers.
Duh.
I did enjoy Iron Man 3. I do have to say it is only so easy because the Avengers is like
Avengers.
It's the Avengers. I think it's my favorite.
I was gonna say that too because I was thinking this morning about my top 3 and I was like, obviously the Avengers is in there. Sorry to give spoilers. We'll get there. Let's go.
Okay, now Iron Man versus Thor.
This is difficult. Hold on, give me a second. I'm thinking. I kind of enjoy. Here's how I feel. I enjoy watching more more scenes from Iron Man than I do with Thor.
Me too. I was getting a little bored in Thor.
Yeah, it was dragging on, and I even like after that first scene, I was ready to stay up there in that universe. I when we were watching this most recent time, I was like, I forgot this man's about to get kicked out into where are they? Arizona? Where are they?
Yeah, I think Arizona.
I was like,
or New Mexico? No, it's New Mexico.
It's the desert. I was like, oh yeah, I was ready to have like a Once Upon a Time-esque film. I was ready to watch like Gladiators.
See, I was like, get him down to earth.
No, clearly, but I'm just saying that the scene was so long that I forgot what movie I was watching.
It was so long. That's why I didn't know that they were all part of the same universe. I was like, that's a fantasy film.
How could they possibly be?
Fantasy movie. Okay, now here's Black Panther 2 versus No Way Home.
Wait, Black Panther 2 versus No Way Home?
No Way Home.
Come on.
I really cannot emphasize this enough. Hated Black Panther 2. Endgame versus Black Panther.
Oh, that's hard. That's hard. Hold on, let me think.
I mean, to me, it's gonna be Endgame because I'm going to prefer the team up movies over the individual movies.
I agree.
And I loved watching Black Panther, but for me, since watching Black Panther in the multiple times I've watched it since it came out, I don't enjoy it as much as I did the first few times I saw it in theaters. Like the theater experience was half of the experience for me.
And I agree with that. I also, Endgame is kind of like really important. It's Avengers. It's the last one. Come on.
There's a theme here.
What?
This is gonna be bad for us.
What?
It's Civil War versus the Winter Soldier.
Okay, hold on. Oh.
Let's come back to it. Okay, Iron Man versus the Avengers.
Oh.
It's the Avengers
Yeah.
for me.
Duh.
Okay, we have to come right back to Winter Soldier versus Civil War. It's the last one.
Okay, Jesus. I'll say my anticipation. I was really excited for Civil War because of what happened in Winter Soldier. So that's why it's really hard. Like it's like kind of like they're a package deal for me.
This is not fair. Like
it's 100% a package deal for me. Like I think of that as one long movie but then I have to say, thinking of if I were to put on, listen to this, if I were to put on Captain America: Winter Soldier, it would shoot me back to such a time that of like nostalgia. I would feel like I was wrapped in a blanket of pure joy and fangirling. Like,
yeah, like
that's what would happen when I put on Winter Soldier because of the hype around it that year.
or like listen
For
to the
us,
soundtrack. Like
Yes,
we literally
listen to the
listened to the
soundtrack.
score.
We saw that movie 10 times in theaters and
12.
oh my God.
It's the most I've ever seen a movie in theaters. 12.
I saw it 11 in theaters and then once on the plane before it came out to DVD.
Okay, I saw it 12 in theaters and once on the plane.
Um
Ridiculous. I remember not even thinking. We saw that it was on the plane
and we were like,
we're going to watch this. And it was like we had just seen it.
yes.
But it was like
They got this on the plane.
it just like went out of theaters or something and it was about to come out on DVD and we couldn't even. I was like, this is dumb. Like, I don't even need to see this. There's no even yearning in me to see this. It's just like an addiction.
I'm watching it the lights have come up. Cap is running around that
on your left.
Yeah, what is that thing? What is the monument called? The needle. But not
The
it's not
Washington
the Washington
needle.
Yeah, but
No,
what's
it's not
that? What's
needle.
that pool of water? Who cares? He's running around in Washington D.C. and he's saying on your left.
On your left.
Don't say it. Don't you say it. On your left. Come on!
On your left.
It's just
Ooh.
and then he has that list of things to catch up on and it's different for all the countries that it was released in and it's
I can recite that movie from memory.
right. Okay, Winter Soldier. But Winter Soldier. I'm gonna say Winter Soldier because we have enough Spider-Mans for that to take over
because
Civil
it's
War.
also going to be difficult. Just you wait.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now this is the second to final round.
Oh.
Avengers Endgame versus No Way Home.
Is that the easiest one?
There's only two.
Oh, fuck.
Okay.
Can I say
What?
I think it's No Way Home? Listen,
I've seen No Way Home more recently.
I
only saw Endgame twice in theaters, and I also only saw No Way Home twice in theaters, but I've seen No Way Home more recently, so I have more of an opinion on it.
what I'll say is I'm throwing all sense out the window. And there's no way that you can tell me to choose anything else over 3 Spider-Men flying in the air. So I'm going to say No Way Home.
Our final four are Spider-Man No Way Home, Avengers Endgame, Captain America Winter Soldier, and Avengers.
That's crazy.
That's 2 Avengers movies, a Captain America movie, and a Spider-Man movie. And I'm not surprised about this at all. So again, Avengers Endgame versus Spider-Man No Way Home. I am inclined to agree to put No Way Home here because I don't remember Endgame as much off the top of my head. However, I will just talk through what that movie did to me in theaters and see if we can come to something. I tear up at even the thought of someone saying Avengers Assemble.
Oh my God, you just made me tear up, Amanda.
Like, Steve didn't say it once, hasn't said it once.
You're going to kill me, actually. You're going to kill me.
In any of these movies. Not in any Captain America movies, not in any Avengers movies, none. Nobody has ever said it. It's like just the biggest thing in the comics. Like, there's the cartoon version of the Avengers, their theme song makes me tear up. It's like, always we will fight as one. Avengers, assemble.
You got me.
Always we will fight as one.
until the battle's won with evil on the run. We never come undone. Assembled, we are strong. We'll ever fight
You're
as
singing.
one. Assembled, we are strong. Forever fight as one.
The amount this is so cheesy, but like I will always ride or die for these Avengers because I love like they are stronger together. Like literally, they are stronger together. It's the same reason that I love No Way Home because the Spider-Mans need to get over themselves and accept help, and they're stronger together.
The reason I started tearing up during all of that is because, like, yes, the term Avengers Assemble, but also I remembered Captain America with Mjolnir. I don't know how to say it.
Yes,
That was.
I remembered. I had a flash of it while we were watching Thor, and I was like, I almost started crying. I was like, no, he's worthy.
And it budges in that one scene in the tower.
Yes,
It budges, and Thor gets scared, and then by the time in Endgame, Thor is ecstatic that he can wield its power because they are one. You're gonna make me cry. Stop looking so sad.
Just like when they all come back.
Out of the, they all come flying. Oh,
Yes,
no.
and he's like, when he says it, like fuck.
Shit, you know what? It's gonna be a messy, messy day when we get to that. Also, I want to say we are going to rank them again after we finish rewatching this. This is our pre-rewatch ranking.
I don't think things are gonna change. I'll just be honest. Avengers Endgame,
I'll be excited.
Winter Soldier,
I'm excited to revisit
and
this.
No Way Home.
I don't think the top four are going to change, but I'll be excited to revisit the other answers. Oh, well, the top four will change if the other answers change. Okay. I don't even know now. I don't think I want to get to number one.
What about Avengers versus Winter Soldier?
I think I would say Avengers. I think the hype around Winter Soldier was great, and it was really heightened for me. But
I have to say
Avengers
too.
like sold it for me. Like when I saw the Avengers in theaters, that was the first one I saw in theaters. So it has that special place in my heart. And two,
Me too.
yeah. And two, it's the beginning. Kind of the same reason why I had to give Iron Man the first one, just because it's the beginning. It's so important. Like, I think, the Avengers. When I watch it, I can feel the excitement of it all coming together for the very first time all over again.
This is the hardest thing that I've ever done in my life. Like, I can't tell you. There's different reasons. This is like High School Musical. This is why I can't rank the High School Musicals. Is because Avengers, to me, is the best because it's where everything started. And it's so simple. It's such a simple group movie, which is also why I like Deadpool and Wolverine, because I felt like it was very simple. Like the way that the team came together wasn't like, oh, we need to show you every single one of their backstories and every single reason that they're doing all of these. We get a full arc for the main two characters, and then we get some badass, fucking sick ass fight scenes of them teaming up.
Yeah.
And some really, really great shots. And that's why I liked Avengers.
Avengers just has so many great scenes, like the Hulk smashing Loki. That's the circle of them in Times Square. And then the shawarma scene, the iconic eating at shawarma after battling.
It's
like,
the only, we have not seen Bruce Banner change into the Hulk since then. There's not been one shot of him changing into the Hulk since Avengers, which I think is insane.
That is insane.
But like Avengers Endgame, to me, is like the exact opposite. It's where it all ends.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like what we've been leading up to this entire time. I don't think it's a better movie than the Avengers, but it makes me feel a lot more deeply because it's the ending. Like I think Avengers to me is still the best movie critically, but Endgame and No Way Home like made me feel things that would like set off the Richter scale if you looked at my heart. Like if you were like tracking my heartbeats, it would be like she went through a panic attack. You know how they're like, if you monitor fangirls' hearts at a concert, it seems like there's something wrong with them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like That's me in Endgame and No Way Home.
Okay, then I'll say this to get the decision between Endgame and No Way Home. I'm thinking of where it leaves us at the end. For No Way Home, I am left in stress and depression. For Endgame, I'm left sad, dehydrated from crying so much, but kind of like also this sense of accomplishment and full circleness, because it's like, at least we know what happened in the end. We saw a 90-year-old Captain America. We saw a 9-year-old Steve Rogers. And so I think I'm going to have to say Endgame for what we're doing.
Me too.
Because do not get it twisted. 3 Spider-Man will beat anyone any day for me. But for what we're doing, for the grand scheme of things, of like the number one MCU movie, I think we'll have to say Endgame over No Way Home. So that leaves us with Avengers versus Winter Soldier. And then I want to say that I'm going to give the same argument that for what we're doing, it's going to be Avengers.
Yeah.
And so now we're left with Avengers versus Endgame.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
it's what?
Should we say it at the same time?
No, I don't have an answer. You say it.
Okay, I was gonna say the way that we were talking about how Avengers started it all, and it's like so simple. It's so simple, and it's like classic, and it's the proof that what Kevin Feige was picturing could happen. It became as big as he was trying to pitch. And I think that when Avengers came into theater, it was like such a signal. It was like a signal from nerds, like this is really happening.
It's literally the blueprint, and I think it's like the most like pure. If you think of an MCU movie, you think of Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like the most pure version of that.
Why am I gonna cry? Like when you like Avengers. Oh my God, I'm gonna start crying. But Avengers Endgame is like the end, and it's sad, and it's like look at all this, like look back at all of these movies over the past decade. But Avengers in 2012, right? It was 2012.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's such a success. After seeing all 4 of the solo movies, it's such a huge success.
Yeah, and it's still
like a win for all of the fans.
Every single time I watch it, also, it still holds up for me. Like,
yeah.
And every one of the moving elements, like the introductions of all the characters that we know and love by now, like them meeting each other, and like the fights that they have when they first come together, which is again. The reasons that I love the Avengers are the reasons that I really liked Deadpool and Wolverine, because it like took those things, took the like slow introduction of the characters that we already know, them meeting each other, and then them finally fighting, because that's what we all want to see.
Yes.
And then reluctantly teaming up together. Like it's literally the same blueprint.
Yeah.
Which is why I was like, it activated some type of juice in me.
Mm-hmm.
And Avengers Endgame wouldn't be like honestly would not mean anything to me
without Avengers. And that's what here's why I'm thinking. Here's how I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it as a professional baseball player.
MVP.
Yeah, think about it. Think about what's the better one? The very first home run you make, or the last one because of like you're going on retirement. Like the last one is so sentimental, and it's like kind of given to you. It's like we're gonna watch insert baseball player MVP's name do his last home run. It's his last game, and we're gonna watch him do his last home run. Like honestly, like symbolic. But when you get your first home run, it's like pure joy and excitement, something we're celebrating, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, you can't get the last one without the first one.
No.
The last one is just kind of a callback. The first one is where it all started. It's like the most exciting thing in the world. And I knew it was going to end this way.
Gonna be this way.
I said it to myself this morning. I said, Avengers is number one.
I fucking knew it was going to be the Avengers.
Because I was like, I got to think of my top 3. And I said, Avengers is definitely going to be in there. And then I was like, it's hard to dwindle down what other 2 would fit in there. And how would either of those 2 top Avengers.
So many
on the
so
grand
many
scheme of it.
years, the Winter Soldier was my number one because of sentimentality and stuff. But as I've gotten older, the more I watch all of them, like Avengers is like continuously number one for me. Like, and it doesn't stop. And there's a reason I have a poster of the Avengers on my wall.
It's so iconic.
Like, it's genuine.
It's so iconic, that poster.
The winner for us is the Avengers.
I thought you said the winter.
The winter.
Okay, yes. So the winner is the Avengers.
I knew,
Number one.
I knew it was gonna be
Number
this
one movie in the MCU is The Avengers 2012. And that makes sense because that is what it's all about.
It does.
The
kind
MCU is about the Avengers. Still.
It does kind of. And they tried to move away from it, but I'm like, you know that the comics have been continuously successful because it's still about the Avengers.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, it doesn't matter, or it doesn't have to matter who's on it as long as the characters are really good. And the central theme of like community and teaming up together and making each other stronger is there.
Yeah.
I think that's what they've lost a little bit
I
because
agree.
they're like trying to do spectacle over actual character building.
And they're focusing on like making other iconic superhero groups.
right, but it's like
but
it's about the Avengers.
the Avengers.
It's about the Avengers. Like, we all want to see the Avengers. We loved when Deadpool said, "Don't you want to avenge your worlds?" We loved it. Come on.
Come on, Earth's Mightiest
You
Heroes.
only have to be pure intentions, want to help people, and like want to be part of something greater than yourself. That's the only thing that you have to be an Avenger. And I can't believe that Deadpool is going to be an Avenger. Not that there's any confirmation, but he's going to be an Avenger.
Yeah.
And like when that happens, I'll burst into tears.
Oh my God. Wow. And we've done it.
Looking at this top four, I have to say I think Deadpool and Wolverine might be in my top four after these. I know it might be different for you because you've got Civil War.
I would put it in my top 5.
That's what I mean. It's in my top 5, but Civil War isn't part of this top 4. It's No Way Home, Endgame, Avengers, and Winter Soldier. And for me, the 5th would be Deadpool and Wolverine. But you're saying you'd put Deadpool and Wolverine above Civil War?
Oh, I don't know. I have to think. I have to don't ask. No, I did.
Don't ask me.
I did the assignment. Do not ask me anything else. You cannot get that answer from me. You'll have to wait until the next episode.
Oh, Lord in heaven, y'all. I can't believe we did this.
I'm glad we did this. This was something that was needed to do, and I'm glad that we've created this space for ourselves where it was something that was urgent enough that we did it.
We're probably going to go home and watch Captain America and the Avengers.
We are. Both.
Saturday
because
night.
It's Saturday and we have the time for it.
Saturday night. Yeah, we just can't wait for Saturday night. Saturday night.
Can't wait till Saturday.
Saturday night.
What's all the noise about, boys?
What's all the noise about,
boys?
What's all the noise about, boys?
Gonna talk about?
They just make you scream and shout. What's all the noise about? What's all the noise about, boys? We should do a Mary Kate and Ashley episode. Do we have
Stay
anything
tuned.
else to say?
I don't know.
I really hope Ryan Reynolds never sees me
Closing-
talking about him. I really hope he never sees me talking about him ever once in my life.
Yes. Closing remarks is a lot of this cast have great asses.
Oh wait. Oh, I do want to do like just a little mini like talk through a little bit of my chaotic things that I have here.
Oh yeah, show and tell.
So obviously these little plushies, Steve and his cracking back and Spider-Man.
Not Steve and his cracking back, Amanda.
I've got this Stark Industries.
Established 2013. Okay.
This is from Iron Man 3.
Of course.
For sure. Okay. This next item made me so popular among the freshman boys on my floor in college. It's a Captain America onesie that I've worn a lot of times, but it's also like built for a very tall person, and so 2 different frat boys on my floor asked to borrow it because they knew I had it, and they
Halloween?
went for Halloween, but also like for their formals that were like themed something. Maybe there was like a superhero party or something. I don't know, but I was like, of course you can borrow it.
Yeah.
Yes. And then they like would take pictures of it. I was like, oh my God, they like it.
Yeah, I remember Marvel being a talking point for me in high school. I was like, yeah, I know what Marvel. I know what Marvel is.
This Marvel sweatshirt that I of course wore all the time. Of course, Spider-Man is very prominent.
I was about to say. I was literally my hand was about to point to this.
Who is that? Yeah. Oh, it's literally mainly Spider-Man and Captain America. I swear to God.
Yeah, it is.
I think it might only be them.
Now I'm thinking of their interaction in Civil War.
This Spider-Man, I have the Spider-Man hoodie that Amber kept trying to steal from me the entire time we were living together in high school.
I remember that. Oh, it's bringing back memories.
And it's his face on the front.
Can I have it now?
I just really don't want to give it to you.
Fine, whatever.
I gave you a Miles Morales one.
Yeah, okay.
Oh my God. On the table is the Winter Soldier number 14 that Sebastian Stan signed, Chris Evans signed, Haley Atwell signed.
Didn't Anthony Mackie?
Sebastian Stan signed on his face, which I think is hilarious.
Sebastian Stan
he's such a goof.
So attractive to me.
Lord in heaven, yeah. That's Sebastian Stan.
Not to be so
Haley Atwell, and then there's a fourth one. Oh, I think it's Clark Gregg.
Okay.
Then I have this like little Winter Soldier figurine, this little Deadpool figurine, which I already talked about, and this Deadpool shirt that's hanging that is ripped to shreds because I've worn it so many times.
It's not ripped to shreds. It's in very good condition.
Well, look, like the pattern is ripped to shreds.
No, that's how my My Little Pony shirt is.
People would always be like, "Is that Spider-Man?" I'd be like, "No, it's not Spider-Man."
Don't even look like Spider-Man.
I have Captain America Winter Soldier poster.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a really good one. Whoa, I lost my mind just now.
Where is? Oh, yeah,
he's
there's
back
Bucky.
there. He's tiny.
He's really tiny, but I have one that makes it that he's a little bit bigger in it.
Captain America.
Captain America. Let me.
I used to have a poster that said "That's America's ass."
Oh my God. That's perfect. I'm not proud of my response to this.
Captain America's ass is one of the only things I'm proud of from the USA.
This is and Spider-Man. Spider-Man is my American hero.
That's so sweet.
I'd rather have Spider-Man be my American hero than like anybody who's real.
100%. I was
he's an American legend.
I was just thinking about it because
he's America.
Spider-Man is America. No, Spider-Man is America.
Is American culture.
You don't know what race that boy is.
Our friend and comedian Rachel Pegram, who was on this podcast, has an amazing joke about how the Brits are stealing all of our American heroes. And she's like, they took Martin Luther King, they took Harriet Tubman, they even took Spider-Man.
Oh my God.
Spider-Man is a Brit. He's an American hero. It kills me every time.
Me too.
I am not proud of my response to this unveiling, okay?
Oh my God. That neck is really thick. Is that what he's supposed to look like?
I really, really didn't think I was gonna scream like that.
Amanda!
I really, really couldn't. I have to tell you that I cannot.
Who's in the back? Did you notice that?
Who's in the back?
There's some body in the back. Right there. Who is that? Who is that? Who is that?
It looks like a robot.
Who is that?
Why is he so big?
His six pack here is remind me of the Deadpool with the face, with Ryan Reynolds' actual face and the long hair. Handsome Pool.
Why? They have the same body.
No, they added a six pack to.
They added.
He does not have that on the normal Deadpool.
This is killing me. I have to put this away.
Oh, why? He has the same body. The funniest line. Okay, I won't do spoilers.
I really can't do spoilers. Spoilers for the rest of the time.
Spoilers for the rest of the time. I was gonna say the funniest line was when. This is not the funniest line, but a funny line was when Ryan, pretty.
Channing Tatum.
No. See, that's why I corrected myself from saying this is definitely not the funniest line. But when Pretty Pool is like, hey, what is his name? Is he Handsome Pool? Who is he?
I don't know.
Whatever.
Canadian Pool.
Canadian Pool. Ryan, the one with Ryan Reynolds' actual face. He goes, I can do it too. Watch The Proposal. And then
Oh my God.
Deadpool Wade Wilson goes, bitch, do you think that's what I do? Ryan Reynolds kept on saying like kid slang. Like he said beef and then he said something else. And
He
I was
said,
like,
I don't want the smoke.
you don't want the smoke.
This is the Amazing Fantasy 15, which is the Spider-Man's first appearance.
I used to have a phone case with this exact thing on it.
Though the world may mock Peter Parker, the timid teenager, it soon will marvel at the awesome might of Spider-Man.
That's right. He's just a boy though.
Introducing Spider-Man.
Okay.
He's literally probably like 15.
He's a child, so that's crazy. I would lay down my life for Peter Parker. Leave him alone.
Woo! I love that boy. I love that boy.
Peter alone.
There's one more that I want to show.
That's
No, actually, there's not. Oh, I got this Black Panther one at the thing. I have a
refuse
lot
to
of
cry again.
I have a lot of free ones.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
how did that get in there?
Get rid of this.
It's Sebastian Stan, and he signed this poster. Again, I have his signature on so many different things. I really like his signature. The two S's.
It's nice.
It's clean.
You can see the Seb and you can see the St.
Yeah, it's like
Sebst.
it's the alliteration. Sebastian Stan, Wade Wilson, Peter Parker.
Ryan Reynolds.
Shut the fuck up. Like literally, who do you
I
think?
knew that would get you.
Get out of here! Get out of here! I swear to God. I literally started the proposal before watching Deadpool Wolverine. Was bored, sorry, because I was waiting for the naked scene. I was like, that's the most iconic scene when they smash into each other naked. And I was like, it's not happening fast enough and I'm bored. And so I stopped. And then after seeing Deadpool Wolverine and obviously the chaos that's descended upon me since, it's just based on attraction. The chaos that's descended upon me since, I was like, let me restart the proposal. Of course, that's one of my favorite rom-coms. And of course, the naked scene was the scene right after that. And he takes his shirt off and he's so hot.
Have you ever seen Definitely Maybe?
No, is he in that?
Yeah. With a child.
I think I'm going to have to watch every single rom-com that Ryan Reynolds has been in.
I think so too.
I'm sorry, you guys.
I can't remember.
I'm sorry.
I started it, but I didn't finish it. I can't remember if he is a single dad or like an uncle.
It's
but
just
one of those roles, and he's like a really cute father figure for a kid, but like a young father figure.
It's just that unfortunately he's my type in the way that he's like a nerd, but he's really hot.
Yeah.
And talented.
Yeah.
And that's what it is for me.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Let's end this on the right note.
Let's end this on the right note.
And what would that even be? Avengers is the #1 movie of the MCU.
Deadpool
stamped
and Wolverine
by Fangirl Central ranking.
And Deadpool and Wolverine is up there for me now. It's up there.
And
Endgame, No Way Home, and Winter Soldier are also up there for us.
Civil War is up there for me, and it always will be because it's important to me.
I need to do a rewatch. I have been lacking on that.
It's important.
And I do think that it is special to me because of, Bucky and Steve.
I mean, Sebastian Stan in that movie is chef's kiss. He is.
I know.
He is.
I know.
He's giving troubled.
I know. Every single time in that movie, the moment that makes me tear up the most is that he's like, I can't even remember what it is, but it's when Steve is fighting Peter and he's like, where are you from? And he's like, I'm from Queens. And he goes, Brooklyn.
And then he runs off.
And he runs
And then he runs off, but he starts running backwards first.
Even though they're fighting each other, they're still like,
because Captain America's not fighting to kill. He's like, this kid can definitely hold this heavy thing. It'll just stunt him.
Queens and I'm from Brooklyn and we're brothers.
So
Okay,
we're-
I
breaks
we
my
have to get
heart.
out of here
We have
because
to
I'm going to
leave.
start acting really, really ridiculous and in embarrassing ways.
Okay, this was the ranking. We're gonna rewatch the whole thing. We're on Captain America. We've started already. So
And we got to go back to watching X-Men too. That's a whole other
yeah.
thing.
So yes. So
Wolverine.
so stay tuned. Let us know your own ranking. Let us know the whole ranking, or maybe just your top 4 or your
Let us
top
know
5,
if you even
whatever.
enjoyed this.
Yeah, let us know if you want us to do more rankings and what of.
I just had to talk about it.
Yeah, this was a kind of get off your chest thing.
I
This
haven't
was for
talked about
us.
Marvel in years, like literally like this. Like, I don't talk about Marvel.
No.
Clearly, I do again.
No, this was one of those special edition episodes where it's like, this is one of the top fandoms for Amanda in the sense that it was a top fan. One Direction was a top fandom for me. So this is really, we should put like a stamp on the
The big ones.
Yeah, we
like
should put, like,
Spider-Man and
Spider-Man, One Direction,
Disney
Marvel,
Channel.
Disney Channel. We should put a stamp of like,
Avatar.
yeah, Avatar, like, yeah, for sure.
Because the big 4 for us are really Disney Channel, One Direction, Marvel, and Avatar. Those are the big 4.
Yeah.
That's like these,
That overlap.
That's like these guys.
Yes.
And
Yes.
Thor. Sorry, Thor. We don't have you. He's at home somewhere.
Yeah. If you need to know anything about Fangirl Central, you need to know those 4 fandoms.
Those 4 fandoms.
Okay, y'all.
Disney Channel, One Direction, Marvel, and Avatar.
Disney Channel, One Direction, Marvel, and Avatar.
Disney Channel,
One Direction, Marvel, and Avatar. Okay, wow, Jesus, we need to go.
We
home.
have to go home. You can follow us anywhere at fangirl.central, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. Follow us on Patreon if you want to see Amber meeting Tom Holland, or me sobbing over Doctor Who,
Yup.
or us meeting Sebastian Stan. Don't watch it, please. It's so embarrassing.
Yup.
And
the
us
Teen
meeting
Wolf.
Teen Wolf and us reacting. Us meeting Teen Wolf is on Patreon, but us reacting to Teen Wolf is on YouTube. We're gonna make more YouTube videos. Just let us know if you want that.
Yeah.
And
We might start vlogging just for ourselves, but also
we might start doing a whole lot of things.
Yeah, keep your eye
We
out.
did not forget about the Avatar rewatch podcast. We just need to get our ducks in a row.
Yes. My name is Amber,
My name is Amanda.
and as always,
Keep it chaotic. Disney Channel, One Direction, Marvel, and Avatar. Disney Channel, One Direction, Marvel, and Avatar.